First and foremost, I just want to preface everything by saying that we do have a very cool, vibrant, and active community on Telegram. So if you're not part of us, consider joining. Link will be in the description below. And we have a very cool project launching soon for all the DeFi lovers. FireToken is having its pre-sale on 21st of December. So by the time I release this, you most probably have one day if you want to participate in this. Now, instead of boring you with the tokenomics, how much will they raise? Okay, that I will mention. I think the cap is around 3 million, maybe more, I'm not sure. And all of that stuff that you don't really care about. But what I will focus on is what they want to achieve. So if I want to summarize all of this, it's basically a medium, Bitcoin mining operation with the goal to generate revenue from Bitcoin mining, through the pre-sale that they're going to be holding. And they want to buy up LUNaclassic with that Bitcoin revenue and distribute that to holders of both the token and the NFTs, because it's going to be split 50-50 between the holders of the token, so Fire, and the NFT holders, which is another raise as well. So let's talk quickly about that Bitcoin mining operation. Is it actually profitable, and what's the catch here? Because many scammy projects have attempted at doing something like this, or at least show you that this exists, even though at the end it turned out to be a total sham and it turned out to be a total Ponzi. So is this even possible? Are the returns that they are advocating even possible? So is it real that they can only spend 2 cents per kilowatt hour, whereas, because they want to ship, by the way, they want to have this operation in Canada, whereas in Canada, according to a website that I will show you, it's 14 cents per kilowatt hour. How possible is this? And are those returns manageable, feasible? 10 to 15% a month? But let's see. All right, so let's quickly assume, because we have to build our case based on assumptions. So the first assumption is they raised 1 million. 200k will go into shipping costs, warehousing costs, handling costs, and electricity. And then you have 800k that will buy up the ASICs that will mine that Bitcoin for you. All right, so right now, this one is the best on the market. And at 255 terahash per second, and it requires 5.3k of power consumption. That's per ASIC. So at 2 cents per kilowatt hour, you're generating, based on this website, almost $26 of profit in Bitcoin per day, per ASIC at the current BTC price. All right, so if the price fluctuates, then that whole deal will go in shambles. So of course the profits will be less, so on and so forth. You know the drill. But that's at 2 cents. If I were to pump that number to the actual number based on Canada, Ontario, which is 14 cents, I think our profits will be somewhere around $10, but let's double check once that website loads again. And meanwhile, I'm gonna say, yeah, 11 bucks, but that's with the best miner on the market. The most common one that is currently used right now is S19 Pro. So if they want to buy these, they require 153 machines, or they will be able to get 153 machines with the amount that they've raised. The S19 Pro, however, I think they will be able to buy like 444 machines or so. But remember, it's cheaper, yes, but it produces less, so the hash is almost half, if not more, and also it requires a bit more in terms of power consumption. So here at 15 cents, almost 14 cents, you can see that the S19 Pro is barely making 7 bucks, whereas this one is approximately making $20. And this is the one that we were talking about. So on the other website shows you 11, here's 13. Okay, those numbers are not entirely accurate, of course, but you can get the idea. So assuming that it's actually 2 cents per kilowatt hour, then the returns that they were advertising make sense. Because if you do the math, I'll do it for you. It's about 111k per month in terms of revenue. And ratio wise, that's somewhere between 10 and 15%, close to 13% more or less. So if that number actually matches, then this is feasible, all right? But unfortunately, in my personal opinion, this is too optimistic. So optimism behind the 2 cents per kilowatt hour is a bit too much. Go to that website, you'll see that by country, by the way, this is Canada, Ontario, almost 15 cents. that 2 cents is only possible in Kuwait and Venezuela. And Venezuela is actually quite a decent place to mine Bitcoin. Electricity is cheap, plus their currency is bad, so overall it's quite a good hedge. And I think most of the biggest mining operations are in countries like this, where the power consumption is quite cheap. So if you think about it, if they advertise 10 cents, then okay, fine. We're not, classifying the whole country under one umbrella. Sure, there will be places where power consumption is cheaper, but dropping from 15 to 2, that's a big of a stretch. So if there's proof that this is actually true, then this would be amazing. All right, so I'm just saying that at the end of the day, you need to understand that the biggest caveat here in terms of Bitcoin mining are, of course, the warehousing part and the electricity part and the handling fees. Electricity is perhaps the biggest, most important variable here, because if it moves 1 cent, then the whole thing can flip from profitable to unprofitable, especially for huge mining operations. This isn't one, but I'm just saying. So if they want to be super transparent, they will show us how much they're actually spending on electricity and everything else. And this is the man actually leading the charge. He is a big Luna Classic advocate, as you can see from his videos here. And like I said, the point here and the point that they're advertising is they want to boost up and support the Luna Classic coin, which unfortunately isn't something that will be done with almost 111k of buy pressure per month when the daily volume is around 200 mil. It's not going to put anything, it's not going to put a dent, it's not going to make a difference, but for me it's just a community driven, for Luna Classic lovers, push type of situation. That's all right? So don't look at the so-called headlines that this will actually have any effect. It will not. It's just something cool to have. It's just something cool to advertise at the end of the day. At least this is how I see it. So is this scammy? Is this a Ponzi scheme? Too soon to tell. I think it's not, because they really want to build an operation. Is this going to be profitable in the long term? Maybe. If Bitcoin remains at similar price levels, that's one. And if electricity consumption is as low as they advertised, that's two. If it's not, then most probably it might not be, especially if the price of the token falls to a certain level. Now, if the Bitcoin mining operation is profitable, then people will buy up that FireToken in order to be part of this movement. But that's the only case, and that's the perhaps the only scenario where I see this happening. So it all hedges around the fact that is this profitable? If it's not profitable, and at the end of the day, the whole thing could either be stable and increase in value or collapse if there's no transparency and if there are false statements. All right, so make your hedge, make your bet. If you want to partake in this 21st of December, I'm going to put, I think, a pre-sale link on the Telegram channel. So if you're not part of it, consider joining. All right. And with that, see you in the next one. Have a good one.